Shalom, shalom. Have you heard? The Real Spill 101 podcast is on at this time. Tune in, listen to what they're saying. Biblically based, not religiously. Let's talk about controversial and real life topics. Hallelujah. Shalom.
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 Shalom, everyone. Welcome back.
Shalom.
Real Spill 101, episode 3. So hey, while we're here, let's start liking. Let's start liking the podcast. Let's start sharing the podcast and just comment, on any topic. So today, in the house we got my beautiful wife is with us. Her name is Karen Battle, so my queen, and so she, I don't want to, because I can talk a lot about her, but she got to tell you about herself first, because I got a lot to say about her. But so she's my rib, she's my easer. So I'm gonna let her introduce herself to you. How you doing, young lady?
Hello. So glad to be a part of the podcast today. Shalom, everybody. My name is Karen Battle, married to Carrie Battle, and I'm here totally excited, representing the women, the ladies, the women of Yah out there on this National Women's Month.
Whoop, whoop.
Totally excited. So we do represent, and I'm ready to get into what all we have in store for us today, because it's been really good. I've been tuning in.
Well, tell us about yourself. A little bit about yourself. Like what do you do? Like some of the things you do.
Right? Sure. All right. Now, one thing about me that most don't know, and I share this and been sharing this, is Ruth and I have a recipe in Martha White's, one of her recipe books or cookbook steaks. And it's called the Mexi-Melt Tex Cornbread. Yeah. Check it out. We won for her 4-H club in Decatur, Alabama one year at the Cornbread Festival.
The Cornbread Festival in South Pittsburgh, Tennessee.
So if you're from the South, we like that Southern cooking. And cornbread are one of the things that I grew up in my household at the age of 7 being able to do. And that was kind of like a family tradition we started out with, and that was one of the first things I learned to cook. So that's one cool thing.
Cornbread battle.
And exactly the words. So when you look it up, you just look for Cornbread Battle.
Yeah, Martha White cooking book.
Yes.
You can sing too, can't you?
I do.
Mm-hmm.
Psalmist.
All right, this is the spot. I'll take it. National Women's Month.
Right.
All right, so yes, I do believe that I've been given a gift from the Father up above, and getting ready to do some things, hype it up, get on out there. So when you all see us come out, when you hear the name, I want you to support. Got some releases, some EPs coming your way.
Right. And this is my beautiful wife. We won't put her on the spot. She's quiet spoken sometimes every now and then, but she does a whole lot more than that. She's also our support in everything that we do when it comes to the ministry. She the brains, also when it comes to the business, she the brains. But she's my wife. Been married 25 years. Now been together 25 years.
Oh, get it right.
Been married 24 years this year on August the 10th.
Kudos.
And been a total of being together 28 years this month. Spring break.
Wow, he got it.
Yeah, I ain't gonna say no song because I don't want to embarrass my daughter. But anyway, we got Malachi. We got him on here with us. He's on school. We try to get him in the chair so y'all can see him like he's sitting beside Isaiah. He's actually at school. So what's happening, Malachi?
Shalom, son.
For me, honestly, I'm just working.
Working.
Trying to be more diligent.
Right.
Everything got to get done.
That's what's up. That's what's up. And we got the truth commentator Isaiah B, Feng Shui Z, and everything else.
Shalom. Likewise with Malachi, I'm just working as well, trying to be diligent, get my work done, do what I got to do.
Right. What you got for us today before we get started?
I want to drop a song for y'all.
So we're about to bring a little heat to the mic, and a little thing you'll learn about all of us is that we love music.
Love music.
We love music.
Yes. Today I'm gonna do a song called "A Crew." I want y'all to just decipher it. I ain't gonna give you no background. Just listen to what I'm saying. He that has ears to hear, they gonna hear what's being said.
Right.
One of my favorites, by the way.
Yeah. Israelite sounds. I know you hear me in the background. We had to ghetto it up real quick, but that's fine.
It's all good.
Yeah. I'm trying to accrue all of my riches in heaven. And I am on a mission to remove all of my leaven. Yeah. Agents as reverence, hit me out. Give me a second to release these. Here goes some pressure, here's some expressions. Stop second guessing, we all talk till it come to the action. But when he say flee, who will be spazzing? Our spirit said lacking. Really what happened? Know your worth and put in that work. Strive to live pure, you gotta endure. You who should the cure, get out the manure. Drink the water, drink the water. Grape juice in the Henny, worry about loud Hemis. Pride of infant, your spirit is empty. You who was the greatest author? You just whooped up like Peter Parker. Stuck on that Mary Jane. It's hot outside, but it ain't May. Between black and white, you all gray. Quit playing games, deconstruct race. This anti-Semitic, I'm anti-Kemetic. I hate them doctors in Yahushua, my medic, and he been clocking. And I am indebted to him for the rest of my life. On him, I'm gonna lean without the Sprite. And this is not dirty, repent in a hurry. I'll bark like you chicken curry. I'll talk. Man, you talking about nothing, your words. They empty, get idle, be quiet, and pick up your Bible. These moments, they vital. Arrival is imminent. And I'ma say that he's heaven sit. Get it? And if you don't, Matthew chapter 6.
Hey.
Yeah. I'm trying to accrue all of my riches in heaven. And I am on a mission to remove all of my leaven. I'm really tired of seeing ages as reverence. Hear me out. Give me a second to release these lessons. Listen up. Yeah. I'm trying to accrue all of my riches in heaven. And I am on a mission to remove all of my leaven. Yes, sir. Ages as reverence. Okay. Remember my heart was negative. Couldn't forgive some relatives. I was good with the rhetoric. Remember forgiveness is relevant. But it was untreated and I was defeated. No ultralight beaming. I'm dealing with demons. Them demons were scheming and they were not leaving. I kept on repeating the same thing over and over. My soul getting poorer in need of the Torah to clean. I'm aura get cleansed like euphoric. Shine like menorah cause I'm getting older. My faith getting bolder. Yahushua my shoulder. My boulder no running like Jonah. Spread the word like Corona. But I am not talking disease. This word make you drop to your knees. And make you go pray to the east. Yeah, them demons be shaking like leaves. The light make the darkness go flee. Babylon mystery. This is written in history. Revelation 17. Yeah. So I get your pearls. And brothers, quit lusting for girls. Girls, stop lusting for men. Stop trying to go look for a 10. You need to be looking within. Getting purged from all of your sins. Making sure that your conscience is singed. Making sure you who should your friend. For real. No religiousness. Make sure he your friend, because that's one advocate that you need.
Right.
I heard somebody say they saved a whole lot of their life by switching to Torah.
Right. Right. Praise the Most High. That's good.
Fresh.
That's good. So today's show. Who's our sponsors for today? Still.
All right, so today's sponsors, we have Phil Stone in Richfield Springs, New York. One of the places that I absolutely adore. It was mesmerizing. I'm a person of nature, and I try to convey things in a loving way, things that I really like, and I love Richfield Springs Resort. Contact them at 1-888-353-3276. And for more information, go to their website. Take your family. Take a business trip there. I'm sure you will be renewed.
Yeah. So Richfield Springs, Fieldstone Resorts in Richfield Springs, New York. Yeah, go there. Go there. It's a good place to be. Also, this show is also sponsored to you by the King of the Pest. Let the best battle your pest. Pest King. Well, we take care of everything you don't want to take care of. And it's that time of the year too, man. Mosquitoes coming out, big old fire ant mounds, wasp nests all around, all kind of stuff happening. Rats trying to get in your attic, and get in your crawl space, get in your walls.
Y'all want the bugs outside during 4th of July.
And you got a man right here. So, hey, Pest King. So today, y'all, our subject we're going to be dealing with, what we did with today, Isaiah?
Today we're talking about the lack of the presence of African American fathers in the American homes.
Or for the real spill for the Hebrew fathers.
Hebrew fathers.
Because African American is more so a byword.
It's a
not,
proverb.
It's not who you are. So, but Hebrew fathers.
Yeah.
So we're gonna have some different perspectives. We have my wife here. She's gonna talk about her experiences. From how she felt. Without a father being in her home. We're gonna talk about ours and just deal with the kind of like the mental state of it. Because a lot of people always want to say, think it's about the money, child support, or making it hard financially.
Right.
So we're gonna deal with some things, biblically. We're not religious, but we got to give you true information so you can really see what's going on. So we're gonna let Isaiah, give his spiel on it, and we're gonna dialogue and take comments. Make your comments, and we'll show enough, get your comments as well.
All right. So the way I've been raised, I've had my father and my mother, and the manuscript that I, tend to read often, you need your mama and your daddy in your life, especially your father in your life, especially being a son, so you can know how to navigate through life when you get older. I'm in my 20s now, and I'm going through a whole bunch of stuff mentally, just things that happen, in your life. Y'all, I'm pretty sure my mom and dad that they know, and people who are around my age, y'all know exactly what I'm talking about. You go through stuff mentally. My little brother can attest to it as well. And, if you didn't have your father, you lash out on certain things. You wouldn't know how to control certain things, like lust, anger, envy, certain things like that. And also, having a father in your life, a consistent father in your life, teaches you how to persevere, not give up, without, the world having to tell you, or without having to learn the quote unquote tough way. Because when you have somebody in your life telling you something behind your ear, you can listen the first time. If you don't listen, that's your choice. That's the choice that you've made. But when you have that in your face, when you have that opportunity, take that opportunity while you have it. Because you don't want to be 60 years old and regret it. Because I'm not gonna lie, personally, I'd be having these thoughts. I don't want to be 50 years old regretting, man, I should have listened to my parents. And it's not to blow my parents' head up. Those are true thoughts that come to my mind, because I've seen people in my family who don't got their mom and their daddy, or whose daddy didn't do right. They have regrets, and it just make me sad, because it's like, man, they didn't listen. And so, I hear a lot of people in my family talk about their fathers. Like my uncle, got a few uncles. My granddaddy, they didn't have a father in their life, or they had a father, but he wasn't the best father. He was basically not around, and you could tell the telltale signs are there by the way that they treat people. But you can't really blame them, because they're ignorant. And if you don't have a father in your home that's not teaching your sons that, they're going to perpetuate the same things that father has done. And another statistic, and we should be tired of being statistics.
Right.
We got to be tired of that. And, our people, we think it's just a sex and leave. People act like kids don't exist. You act like kids, emotional problems don't exist and mental problems don't exist. You just think, oh man, I can have sex right here, pop out a kid, and deuces. When the trauma that you have caused on that child, my parents. I'm not trying to bash them, but my parents. I know my parents. I've been raised in a house.
Okay. Question.
So, yeah.
So, because you said, how it is, to have a father in the house, So, but let's get. What's the real reason? Why the homes are not filled, with the fathers? Because we hear about.
Okay.
We talk about other nations.
Right.
Well, the other races have done these things to us, programmed us by selling us off to other plantations or what have you. And so then when we became free from slavery, they was already embedded. So now the man is always used to being gone.
Right.
Some of that sort.
Yeah.
So without the father being in the house, we tend to try to blame other people. Mm-hmm. Try to give other folks an excuse. To why we, not responsible. You know what I'm saying? So that's the standpoint I want to come from, because everybody can talk about how good it is to have a father. You know what I'm saying? But we need to talk about the real issues, because you can have a father in your house and he can be ignorant. He can be he can be a father in your house married to your mama. He can be abusive.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? He can be even mentally ill, and it be a sexual abuse
Yeah.
to his
Right.
daughters and sons. You know what I'm saying? Or even and so it can make that daughter and that son, come up twisted. So and then but when we come up, in certain kind of ways, in certain kind of environments, because of us so-called saying we're not having a father, instead of us, really trying to face the issue of our issues, we want to try to blame,
Somebody else.
other nations. So we want to try to deal with that issue as well. I want to get some input from Lady Battle, and then we're gonna get Isaiah, and Malachi as well. But then we're gonna get when we get their dialogue, we're gonna try to get some comments as well from the comment section.
Mm-hmm.
So what do you think about that, Lady?
Well, I'm going to speak from my personal experience. And I'm big on dynamics because you can be in a both parent home or two parent home. And I say that as male and female, not to be demeaning to anyone else because that's what we're missing, the balance, the teaching from both parts. You could be in a single parent home, male or female, and you could have been a part of the system, being adopted so our dynamics is different. And one thing that I heard one day, and it made me go look it up, it was, are we products of our environment? Humankind, we are most definitely products of our environment. And when we don't truly understand our purpose, we abuse it. So, with that being said, in a single parent home, I was with my mother, with my father until I was 2, and my brother was a baby, months old, and it was extremely abusive. I have 3 other brothers and sisters. My mother was married twice. So, granted, our dynamics was this. What I experienced at 2, what should have been a stable home, they experienced a heck of a lot more that really
Chaos.
probably twisted and contorted their perspective of a male and the female or marriage in and of itself. But the lack of my father really took me to a point to where I had no clue what it truly was to see a man of standard, a man that is firm, a man that has understanding. Because again, our parents are put in our lives. If we, were to look at the scripture, and my foundation is that. I mean, we had a father that gives us teaching, and that's what parents are to do. We are to teach our children. So to say the least, I grew up with a lot of misunderstandings, improper teaching, that in return, me being 40 some odd years old, I have had to learn how to maneuver through that and get the proper teaching, right understanding, so that we won't continue to perpetuate that to our sons, daughters, and our grandchildren. Right. So I think it's extremely important to look at what's missing, from not having that presence in the home.
Was that a bar you had just said at 40 some odd years old?
We can make it one.
Because you got an odd number on the end. Yeah, that was smooth. So what's your take on that, Malachi?
I think as far as why the Hebrew father is not in the house is because the father is what brings the structure. Like typically, like in any version of society that has relatively existed, the father is the one who is going out to work to get the money, and he brings that back, and he spreads it, and he takes care of his family. The father and the mother together teach the children how to carry that on. And, on a larger scale, you take collective heads of families and you get whatever type of government, or like kingship or whatever is existing. And then you all work together to organize a society. You start to make businesses, then you start to, you get different entrepreneurs. So society is formed in the basis of responsible men. And then, you got the women as well. It is really, you gotta have both, but the male is that physical force, the driving factor of that. terms of actually getting out there and doing the bulk of that type of work. Um, and if you can remove the male from any household, you remove the structure.
That's
You
true.
remove you remove um, the ability not to completely organize, but kind of to separate heavy emotions from things,
Right.
right? You let's say um, naturally men and women have roles, like not specific gender roles, but just things like just naturally fall upon a man and a woman, right?
Right.
Because your
Right.
body physically is more equipped to do so.
Very
There's
true.
no man there, you know. Well, who's who's cutting the grass? Not to say that women can't do so, but who's doing those types of things? So, like on a larger scale, who's doing the role of the male? Nobody. So now that structure is broken. And if you can break that, you can keep a whole group of people from ever progressing from where they are. Because there's no leadership. There's no men who are responsible enough to provide for their families, take care of them, to foster more productive young men and women.
Right.
And if you can take that from a civilization, you can take their means of leadership
Yeah.
from them ever becoming great again.
Yeah.
So you see that happen in slavery. So that's what they did. You take all the people who are capable of organization, responsibility, actually working hard for something that they want, and now you move it to where nobody can teach anybody anything, and all the men have no idea what it takes to
The,
be a
fa-
man.
the father is the strength of the house.
Right. You take away that strength.
Right. And check something out. Now the word the Hebrew we Israel, so the word in Hebrew for authority is tokef, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so, but Hebrew is the concrete language. So the Father shows His authority by what He does. You know, so if
Mm-hmm.
the adversary can, kind of, whoever you want so-called call the adversary, if he can pull that from you, and you won't understand authority. So when you start really trying to see that authority, you buck against it, especially when you're emotional. Because a lot of times, it's off balance. When you have, just a mother, and we'll get with that in a second. We're gonna get Miss Karen. She's gonna read some of the comments, and we'll get Isaiah's response. And we're gonna we're gonna turn it up a notch.
All right.
So what kind of comments do we got?
Right, we got comments. First, we're going to roll back some we should have did. A shout out to Deline Battle, Will Polk. We got Yehuda Jackson.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right, thank you for tuning in today. So pretty much everybody is agreeing. They said the song was lit and saying praise y'all. But on our comments, where it's specifically pertaining to this discussion, it says, from Deline Battle, says, praise the Most High for both parents. I know my children may not have their biological father, but they won't miss out because my dad and my mom are in their lives and they don't miss a beat. Shout out. And you're right on that. We got your back. Deline Battle says, had to learn that some things we may not want for our children may be the best for them. And we got Yehuda Jackson. He says, Shalom, beloved. I hear you on both points. Deline Battle says, some don't have that type of training to be a father because they may not have had one. And some just don't want to be responsible. They try to blame everyone else for what they don't want to take care of in reference to children. Yehuda Jackson comments, I think that the New Deal, parentheses, that President signed in 1963, I think had so much to do with the removal of the father from the home, offering the mother health care, food, and a place to live as well. And he goes on to say, there are stipulations that were required and the administered removal of the father from the home, like discipline, guidance, protection, provision, was a part of it.
Right.
Can I?
Right. But see, yeah, we got you. The thing is, yeah, I agree that some of the deals the president signed, but we're gonna try to take it a little bit deeper because, you know, I believe that certain things happen that people can be used to do certain things. I think that some of us, you know, by not having a father in our home to have this structure, I think that's more so some of our fault. You know what I'm saying? So we're gonna let Isaiah and Malachi them get into that. We're gonna dialogue from that point perspective as well now. So what you think about that? So why you think the fathers? What do you think the underlying reason is?
The underlying reasoning the reason the father's not in the home is the same reason that they're gonna be mad at this podcast. Said they hard headed.
Oh, okay.
Because you know when you tell somebody about themselves, they get a little offended, they get hurt. But come on, let's look at the statistics. Black fathers not in the homes. How many of our black young men in prison? How many of our black young men what they call it jumping off the porch and murdered? I mean, King Von was 26 when he got murdered on November 6th. Yeah. FBG Duck, he probably ain't have a dad in his home. His mama, yeah. T. Roy, yeah. Chicago gangs, they murdered young men because they don't have a father. And that hard-headedness, they think they doing right, but in reality, we scream, let's
go show them the way. But why
the
you think the father ain't in
way.
the home, though? Because we saying, you know, who got murdered, the fathers ain't in the home because it's probably our fault.
Right.
As a people or as a father, right?
Yeah.
Right, because the thing is,
it's perpetuated.
You know, we want to say, you know, we want to say they brought drugs in, but everything that we do on this planet that we do is our own decision making. Whether we have understanding what we're doing or not. You know what I'm saying? So we need to talk about that because we can talk about where they at, and we can talk about, you know, I'm trying to say who did what and how they did it, but still we ain't saying whose fault it is. We want to blame the government.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
Right.
It's
right.
Our fault.
Right. So,
Yeah,
it's our fault. Because even though we
reason.
see our young men in our community being murdered, we want the police to do something about it. Why don't we get out there and do something about it? We want to say Black Lives Matter, but we're not taking no responsibility for Black lives. We claim that, but we still got abortion in our hoods. We still got missing fathers out the homes. We don't have men out there on the streets trying to talk to the fathers. Man, I know it may be tough. Everybody got to have responsibility. Pull your weight. Go back to your home. Learn how to raise your kids. Yes, it's a tough walk for everybody. But if you see how it affected you, don't let what your father did continue to be perpetuated. Right. Learn from his mistakes. Yeah, he messed you over. He did. So you got to learn how to, okay, my dad did that. I'm going to learn how to be a man that my dad could not be. Be there for my children, my wife. Learn how to be a shelter of my home. Be that structure so my son don't have to be out there murdered.
Right.
So one thing that we need to learn how to do is to listen.
Right.
Because that hard-headedness, that's what's got us here in the first place. Because it's our fault. It's our fault. We want to talk about the abortion clinics, but we the ones taking the babies to the abortion clinics. We the ones that's walking out the homes. We the ones that get in our emotions and want to leave. We the ones that having sex with all these people and having these kids and want to leave. They want to say that's
part of the curse?
Yeah, that's a part of the curse. Because you want to know how I know it's a part of the curse?
How?
They portrayed it in the industry. Give these young kids, you know, males and females that's hiding their pants, make them have kids, then snatch them out the homes. Then we gonna feed them with the EBT and whatnot. Take the fathers out there, put them into prison. But it's our fault because we fall for it. We listen to it. We believe that. When in reality, listen to what they say. Check for yourself. Yeah, you know better, you do better. But sometimes it's best to check for yourself instead of listening to what some people tell you. Because everybody that tell you something ain't really your friend. Every smile ain't no friendly face. Everybody that tell you something they with you for a friend, that's not true.
Right.
But you know, we say something. But as soon as we say it's our fault, man, how can it be my fault? We over here, because it is your fault. Yeah. Come on, let's look at hindsight.
And if we're gonna have even a bad attitude about it, I think it's time for us to stop having a bad attitude about, you know, saying why somebody ain't there. I think it's time for us to start being responsible for one another. You know, and just
accountability.
And start being real. Most of the fathers ain't in the home because of the father's decision, but it ain't just the father; it's the mothers as well. But I don't think that when we make certain decisions that we really think about the outcome. I think a lot of times some fathers are not in homes. I heard the rapper Truth Music, Paisley the Hebrew. He had a message on his YouTube channel called "Save Yourself." And on that message, he was talking about, you know, we always want to say, you know, I wish somebody was here for this. I wish somebody was here to be able to hear that. And we always want to, you know, even when we have an arguments or disagreements, we want to tell the other person, you know, I wish you would be quiet, or You gotta check yourself. He said, but the thing about it is, we all the times worrying about what somebody else doing, but we need to save ourselves. We need to learn how to, have self-control, learn how to be quiet, learn how to, do what we're supposed to do without us putting the eyes on everybody else, making a decision based on emotions or based on, somebody saying it, and learn how to become accountable. So I don't think that some of our fathers are not in the home because of, other races or other nations. I think that some of our fathers are not in the home because of the selfishness. I was in the house with my children. I raised mine. It's 4 of them. But I got 3 kids, that didn't live in my house. That I made out of self. One of them a homosexual. Yeah, he a boy. Yeah, I just met him when he was 18 years old. I think that me not being in his life probably caused that. Yeah, I don't agree with him being a homosexual, but it's terrible that me, not being more, proactive, not being more responsible. He could have had a different outcome in his life. I had my oldest daughter, her birthday was yesterday. She, first time I ever told her birthday probably in over more than 10 years or not, She, me and her didn't talk. She thought I didn't love her, That's my fault. And I got another daughter, Look here, she says she loves, but she's shady. She knows she is, She almost died a couple of years ago. She had a wreck on the interstate, hit a tree. She did die and came back, actually. She broke her femur, too. Rebellious. That's my fault. Because I could have been, that's my fault. I could have been, a better responsible person. We always want to talk about safe sex and stuff, all that. Safe sex don't mean nothing, man. Don't have sex. See, we so caught up on our feelings, we make excuses to keep on doing wrong. You know what I'm saying? Because we don't know how to be accountable for our own actions. So, the fathers not being in the house is just because of disobedient people or person, being selfish. We use the excuse of money and child support as a means to be irresponsible. You know what I'm saying? Because we won't never think about, the mindset of that child. You know what I'm saying? Most children make decisions based on us. If we the strength of the house, if we gone, we pour their strength out. They weak. Oh. How you expect for them to fend for themselves? And then you want to blame them for being who they are when it's you. See, I love my son. Now, if he don't change his life, he going to hell. That's the bottom line. But at the same time, it don't mean I don't love him. It don't mean I ain't here to try to help him and show him a better way. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm going to teach him and I'll accept him. He can't come to the house dressed up like no woman. In the LBGQ community, whatever they call them. I don't care about him being offended at the truth. He can't come to my house like a woman. He can't bring his boyfriend neither. But if he want me to love him and talk with him and just, give him understanding, yeah, I'll be there for him. Because I understand, and I ain't got no excuses why I wasn't there. You know what I'm saying? I ain't gonna say me and your mama, I don't care about a lot. None of that stuff matter. At the end of the day, they don't even matter. The decision you made was out of selfishness because when you calm down, then you regret. See, so the thing about it is, I think the father's not in the house because of our own disobedience, our own just selfishness. What you think? Because I think it makes some of the women not know how to be submissive to their husband, not know how to control their emotions, or even when some of the, because I didn't have my father, and my wife didn't have her father. We've been married for 24 years this year, and us not having that structure in our home, we saw that. Ain't that right?
Yes. Chime in right there. Everybody kind of hit the nail on the head. I don't know what Malachi wants to contribute, and he may just absolutely, totally agree with what we're saying. But I believe it's selfishness, absolute selfishness and disobedience. Because here's one thing that I think that you can't unsee, is that all of us work in some type of manner for some currency. Right. Whether you are employed by an employer, whether you own your own business, however you acquire, it just don't fall in your lap. And my thing is, if you are employed by an employer, you have like an employee handbook, right? Mm-hmm. That you're given with rules, policies, if something coming down the line, even on up to if you have a loss or death, you know, in your family, how many days you'll get, right?
Right.
Man, you're going to shut the clapping down to make sure you abide by those, because you holding on to what we quote unquote call this resource, which I found, and I will stand on it. My plight, my foundation is the Yahuwah, and he is my source. So what I have found, that if I can do this for the secular reasons, if I can do this for being paid and receiving currency, going and working 40 hours for somebody, and I don't spend that same time and invest that same time, read that same employee handbook that the Father gives us, 66 books and more, you know, to find out, you know, to find out what I need to do to make my family whole, then what's the point? My thing is we take these natural things, these jobs, these lamb skins or these pig skins, degrees here, there, and everywhere. And I mean acquiring them surmountably, this, that, and the other, attaching titles to our name when on the inside we have failed. And I've heard it said like this: I would rather be a private success and instead of a public failure. You understand what I'm saying? So we gravitate to things people can see. And my point, I said all that to say this: I believe it is because of the selfishness of mankind. Male man first, female man, and we disregarding the law or the scripts that was given to us to run and govern our lives. Structure. You cannot have structure without being reprimanded, corrected, and prodded.
Right.
And when we are not receptive of it, we may have a skewed idea of how it's supposed to come. And I will speak on, you know, only from me. Yes, submission is a touchy subject, still touchy to this day. But that's something in my household, you know, it was not found. We didn't grow up, you know, with that. Wasn't looking forward to it. Even I had said one time to my mom, I said, well, I guess I won't, you know, be getting married because they ain't listening to no man. You know, I'm saying that's me being a product of my environment.
Right.
You heard me mention it earlier. It's not just the folks that are immediately in your household, but you have schools that you go through, community events. You got doctors, lawyers. These are all places that typically the same type of mindset, the same type of economic background that you're from, you gravitate into them. And every once in a while, people will supersede the norm, meaning they're able to grasp hold. They didn't pull themselves up by their own footstraps, but neither did they go around being disrespectful to all that they surpassed. They came back and got. They came back and shared what they knew, you know, what they, you know, learned. So my point is in saying that I was at a disadvantage because I did not have that foundation of a father.
Right.
So I know now that a lot of times if Karen, you know, getting her feelings, since this is the real spill, you know, 101, if Karen getting in her feelings, truly, is this man mean or is your flesh or your mindset just bulking because it's, you know, it's more, you grew up around more estrogen than testosterone. That was not a balance. And I kind of shared that, you know, with my son. For every area in our life that we can shape and mold, I believe that my source, which is Yahuwah, he brings a balance to our life, that we may perpetuate that balance. And I was off kilter. And when we allow talks like these, truth talks, hear what our children got to say about how they really feel about us, you know, it'll make us take a look around, right? From the shoulder down.
Right, right.
You know, because we missed something.
Right.
And I think, you know, when we can have the real talks that matter, the real talks that hurt, and however, or whatever side of tracks you grew up on, or whatever spoon you had, wood and silver or gold, or a plethora, you had options. You know, you just was waddling in the wealth. It adds nothing to us when when our mind is not in a place of balance to where we can receive the opposite sex,
Right.
the male for what his position is, or the female.
Or learn how to love your wife. Like, you know,
Okay, yeah.
a man that be in the house, you know what I'm saying, he don't have no no father, he can wind up being emotional. And he ain't got to always be, feminine.
I totally
He can be
agree.
emotional. And they can be probably the cause of domestic violence. He don't have no self-control. He ain't got no self-discipline. So if he don't learn how to think within reason, he allow his passions to override. He start beating his wife. Grown man having temper tantrums. You know what I'm saying? Because he don't know how to control his emotions. So, you know what I'm saying? Hey, it's a mean game. You know what I'm saying? So, Malachi, what you think about that?
I think, just thinking about looking at myself and observing other people, along with the selfishness, is also what you indulge in. Is you feeding in, to a lot of the distractions that are around you. It's very rare that somebody breaks away from what the mass is doing and does their own thing. And because of that, that's where you get the repeat, right? Because you see somebody else doing it. Well, let me go do it too. Not even realizing that, you know, like a lot of the entertainment that they put out there are distractions. What could you be replacing that time with? How could you be more proactive? So, you could be selfish, but selfishness also goes into you doing your work. Being in college, I respect anybody who has gotten a degree. And that is not saying that people who got a degree are better than people who haven't.
Right.
But I can absolutely say that I respect anybody who had a degree. Because at some point in those 4 or 8 years or 12, they had to put aside how they felt and get their work done. I respect anybody who has a job because at some point in the time that they had a job, they had to put away how they felt and got the job done so that
Right.
they could take care of the business. And a lot of that selfishness and the lack of being proactive comes from that. Well, I don't feel like getting up, going and doing something. I want this, but when it come time to actually do it, I don't seem as appealing. And that's a part of selfishness too, because you got a lot of Hebrew men, who they're aware of where they are, but they're just lazy. They still
Right.
selfish. They can't get over themselves and go out and get something. And you got people who have understanding. They understand that their kids, are in certain situations with certain things, but they also don't care again. Well, my kid feel this way, but I'm tired, so I'm not gonna take the time and talk to them about something. Or I'm not gonna take the time to fix them food. And that's honestly way worse than being ignorant. So
Mm. Yeah,
that's
that's
how
right.
that's my
Right
thoughts.
there, it's deep. I was listening, you know, to my wife. She was saying about, about the word submissive, touch, and I know it is, but that's the same thing when it comes to men being honorable. You know what I'm saying? Because sometimes, when you got a woman who, don't have a father, she said the word of man, man, you being mean. She just said, but sometimes, a man don't have a father, only got, a mother, or his mother one there, he thinks she being weak, because of off balance. What we got to start doing, y'all, is just stop making excuses of why somebody ain't in the home and start looking for somebody else to fix our mess. We want to bring a subject up about effort and fathers because I think it's time for us to start looking at things from a different perspective. Because we can say people pass the crime bills to have us in prison for a long time, but who tell you to go out there, man, and do anything to go to prison? Man, when you make decisions, one thing I do know, whether you want to say yeah or not, or however, what I did wrong as a teenager, I knew I was doing wrong. I knew it took a lot. Look here, I ain't read the Bible until I got a grown man. I might have been 21 years old for the time I ever read the Bible. Yeah, but I knew telling lies as a little kid, you're going to get a whooping. We might have called them a story. Whatever you want to tell, feel, whatever name you want to name it. And the reality is, when you were doing it, you knew it wasn't right. It was something on the inside you felt that you shouldn't have done it. You know what I'm saying? That's how anything is when you know better. So our decisions we make most times just be because we just crazy. That's the bottom line. You got to be insane to think you're going to get some blessings by doing stupid stuff. That's crazy. I'm just, you know what I'm saying? You can't, I ain't never seen nobody been to me unless you inherit it. But then if you still ain't got no money, no sense, you gonna go back broke again. You know what I'm saying? But too many folks don't just become millionaires by sitting there getting no money for nobody. You gotta get up, get out, and get some. You know what I'm saying? You know what Outkast say? Don't waste all your time trying to get high. You know, you need to get up, get out, cut that. You know what else out. You know, and do something. You know, instead of playing games. You know, the father is the strength of the house. All of us young men talking about we strong, but we can't even control our emotions. That's what's wrong with a lot of our youth around our community now, shooting one another. You put out a gun, you know what I'm saying, shooting somebody. Man, that's crazy. But then you can't handle that life without sinning. You can't handle them 30, 45, 50 years. Then you in the penitentiary, you mad because everybody put on your green dot card because you know you ain't supposed to have it anyway. or no, you know what I'm saying, cash out. And I got family all the time hitting me up. They watch the podcast. You know who you are. You know what I'm saying, about money and green dots. You know what I'm saying? But you in the penitentiary, somebody don't love you. Come on, man, be for real. You know what I'm saying? You make your own decision. You know what I'm saying? And in reality, you look like it. You know what I'm saying? And if you want to have a better look on your life, make different decisions. You know what I'm saying? Like we got our kids. See, I take full responsibility of my children. I got 7 children. I got 4 with my wife. I take full responsibility of why my children like they are. Matter of fact, I take full responsibility of my family like it is every shortcoming. I'm supposed to be a man. Even when it comes down to, having a problem with my wife. You know what I'm saying? I need to do better because I know better than to sit here, you know what I'm saying, and to be talking back reckless. I need to learn how to have self-control. You know what I'm saying? I can't continue to blame it on my dad not being that old because I know better. See, the thing about it is we don't want to learn information. We be deceived by people lying to us about stuff. Especially when it comes to the word, to the Bible. We want to call it a white man book and ain't the white people in the Bible. You know what I'm saying? That's called, for people who say stuff like that, I won't even entertain your conversation because I know you don't read to say what you just said, but the reality is we make up excuses, you know what I'm saying, to remain where we are. But the real reason we're going to stay focused. If people get mad, they can go and get mad, it's all ball. If people want to unsubscribe, hey, I'm used to that anyway. But the reality is most of our fathers ain't in the home because we just can't take heed to this wisdom. You know what I'm saying? We want to blame somebody, but I'm the one make the decision to have sex with a teenage girl to still live with her mom and her daddy while I still live with my mom and my daddy. To do that. That's my decision. Shame on me for putting my babies on their grandparents. Yeah, I took care of them financially. You know what I'm saying? Not by choice. I should have been better. I tried to be involved, but I was lazy. When I made decisions, I ain't try to go follow behind them like I should have. Pride got the best of me. I'm the dad. You come to me. No, I think a father should pursue his children to show that love. Not be no full of pride. You want them to love. You want to let them know that because it's a cold world and it get hard outside. And if you show that love to them, then they'll feel that comfort in your words when they get like that. If you don't show that love, then everything is scary. Why do you think our folks walk around with fear? Because of us.
Paralyzed.
Yeah. What you think about that, Sister Lady Battle, a Cote?
Well, I'm going to say it like this. Pressure bust pipes.
Uh-oh.
In life, no matter how spiritual we want to be or no matter how we prefer to live not knowing the unknown. Mm-hmm. I kind of heard that earlier this week. I got tickled. I'm better not knowing at all. I'm good with not knowing the unknown, but that's the inside thing.
Man, what you don't know gonna kill you.
But pressure bust pipes. And life all day long comes with pressure.
All day.
And then unless we know how to alleviate the pressure, we go to the one who created it all. And again, my foundation is in Yahuwah.
We ain't gonna
Yeshua is the chief cornerstone.
Yeah.
That that all the builders rejected. Look at my house. I'm working on it. I'm working on it. But I believe that having a relationship with the Father is the only way I have learned and steady learning to relieve my pressure.
Right.
So that I don't bust.
Right.
Because if you bust, Carrie,
boom.
Wow, what happens to everything around us, everything that's attached to us? Can you imagine the catastrophe? And yes, there has been some. There's been many and will be more. But the fact that we've brought
Not
this
in my life.
Well, you got to hear what I'm saying.
Oh,
you got to
okay.
hear where I'm going. But the fact that we have the Real Deal or the Spill Talk 101? Real Talk? Say
Real
it for me.
Spill.
Real Spill 101.
Okay, Real Spill 101, and that we're out here. We've created this avenue, this platform for us to talk. You bring your pressure, bring your your wrong learning. You have an opportunity to reach out to us because we have an answer. But it's not in us, but the power is that we have direction to the word of Yah, prayer to lead you to salvation for change. Because I guarantee you, no man, and I know I can't, let me use me. I can't take credit for the change that has taken place in my life. And more so the change that had to be done on this brain. And I think Isaiah has a song, and I love it, on Take the Chains Off Your Brain, right? Is that not how you said it? And when we continue to make excuses, which are truly smoke screens for the uncommitted, can't coin. I'm repeating, can't coin it, but it's been said, and I totally agree. When we want to no longer have excuses, we will be willing for somebody to help us unlock the chain that's on our brain that we quit continuing to perpetuate this foolishness.
Right.
And when you said something, you said you take full responsibility. Now, I live like this on Real Spill 101. It takes another person to vouch for you. Because you're going to talk about yourself real good, right? I'm all that and a bag of chips. I'm the chip factory. You can't tell me nothing. The mirror, when I look at it, even say, hold up, here she come. But back to the point of here. So I'm a vouch, for Kerry, my husband today. He took care of his children. And in fact, I did see him. We both pursued one, and the others rejected. But the matter or the point being made here is the Father, Yahuwah, out of all of his creation, he is always on the pursuit of his children. So much he gave of his only son, to do such a great thing for us, to give us another opportunity.
Right.
And I can vouch for what he said. He did. He could have done better, but he was there. And one thing that I can say that he does, we look at people talk on platforms, you be like, man, I wonder do they live that. They fake, they this, they lying, somebody didn't pay them, but he didn't pay me today.
Right.
Family is real to us.
Right. Yeah, we ain't got to. Yeah.
Oh, well.
But it's all good though.
I put a smile on his face.
Yeah,
though.
she just yeah. But anyway, man, stop. I kiss you on camera.
We put a smile on his face.
I
The
can-
Real Spill 101.
I kiss you on the lips.
Real Spill 101.
On TV.
Oh no.
Kiss me on TV.
Say dun 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 dun.
With your hand?
You know my man don't
man.
know no PDA.
You got it on TV? Hurt me.
I don't do the public display of affection.
Okay. So anyway, y'all, but yeah, I'm just, yeah, man. Hey, we need to talk, y'all. We be talking about, man. My dad. I used to have this lame excuse all the time, and man, it don't work. We can't always make excuses for our fathers not being there to remain lazy.
Can I say something?
Yeah.
Chime in.
I don't know, the full extent of my family's history on both sides, but I know I'm the only engineer that I've met, as well as somebody about to get the MBA. But I'm here. And one thing I'm understanding now is I can't keep excuses as well. My parents didn't go to college. So I don't have XYZ, I don't have certain skills. I can't keep those excuses. I can't. Right? Because what about that other kid who's in the same situation that got a 4.0?
Yeah.
Very good.
Hey, the man.
What was his dilemma? What was his issue?
Right.
So I reflected and I thought, it's me. I had to be more proactive in certain areas. Okay, I understand that they didn't do that. So guess what I should be doing? They can't get information to me. The internet can. I guarantee there's other people who can give me information too. And I realize I can't always be like, well, how did they get there? What was their background like? It's not important.
Right.
Absolutely.
That's very true.
Absolutely.
Yeah, we got about 5 or 6 more minutes, so we need to try to just wrap some things up. So we'll get some final words, some final comments, and then we're gonna get some announcements, some stuff we got going on. Also, y'all, hey, like, subscribe, share. Hey, this information that we got need to be going more than just the people who are on here now. Let's get the word out to have some real talk. You know what I'm saying? Podcast, real spill, so we can get some people educated and get some understanding, and even some people, you know what I'm saying, to come to reality. So with that being said, we're gonna get some little last comments from Isaiah B, Funk Sway Zay, making a move in a major way. You know what I'm saying? Then Lady Battle, she gonna come with the fire name. You know what I'm saying? When she gonna release one of her songs, we're gonna get her to come on here and sing, do one of her songs, prayerfully soon.
Yeah.
So I what you got to say about that.
Yeah, because if men are not in the home, it is very tough for both the mother and the children. Because if the man is the strength of the house and the woman is the glue, without that structure, everybody will be sticky and won't know what to do. Yeah, you have some type of idea, but you won't have the full idea because you don't have what you need. As was mentioned earlier, you got to have a balance. If we talk about balance ain't the same thing. Now it's something of two different things. If we had a balance, we won't have the same thing. No, we have two different, make it equal, make it work out. But, but it's our fault because we don't want to work toward that. And when somebody come and correct us on it, we get offended. Oh, it's slavery. All right, yeah, it's 400 years ago. Come on now. That can't be our excuse. We got to want to do better for ourselves, because if we built America, man, what can we build on our own?
Right.
What if we come together with true fathers? Because we can't continue to perpetuate the same things that we have been doing for the past 200 years, for the past 50 years. It's only been 1960s. If that bill was signed in the 1960s and we listened to that bill, they took the fathers out the home quick. How could we be so goofy to follow that ploy? If we know that's the ploy, that's all right, shoot, let's not listen to what they say if that's what they doing. If we know that's what they doing, leave them alone. Every smile not no friendly face. And the government, they give you a big Uncle Sam hand, smile at you, say I want you, but then when they grab you in, you got don't know you in there.
Yeah, you signed a contract, didn't you?
Yeah. So if you leave them alone, listen to what people that look like you saying. Come on. People that don't look like you, yeah, they do say some stuff, but come on.
Yeah.
How they treat you at the end of the day. I'm gonna be real, but how they treat you at the end of the day.
Right.
We
know the power you have too. Now.
Yeah. We get mad at each other for wanting to tell each other the truth. Say, man, you crazy. You a fanatic. You a blacktivist. Or, man, you crazy. You conspiracy theorist. Bro, first off, come on, let's tell the truth, though. How am I a conspiracy theorist? But if we take the fathers out the home, what's up with your son? What's up with your daughter? Why they freaks in the street? But I'm a conspiracy theorist. Yet it's evidential. Come on, we got to think bigger than that. That's not a conspiracy theory when you see that it's a fact in the the Hebrew community, because that's what we are. Not no Kemetic. Not no, none of that. That's what's going on. But yeah, we conspiracy theorists. But come on, let's look at the statistics. A lot of our young men would not be murdered right now if they had their dads in their life, or if they had the fathers doing the right thing in their life, perpetuating the right thing, going to hustle, but yeah, hustle the right way. Create you a business. If you know that crack cocaine getting you put in prison, don't do it on the low, man. Get a business started. If you know how to hustle like that, you know how to make money like that, I guarantee. You know how to use your mind and put your hands to anything, I guarantee for a fact it'll work. Because if you put your hand to that and look how big you grown, man, imagine putting your hand with a hammer and a couple pieces of wood, and you're showing these other young men, we all have houses and green.
That's good.
Right, Lady Battle.
So with that being said, an artist formerly known as Humble for y'all and currently known as who?
Anaviel the Servant.
All right, he says just because you don't believe those facts or truth don't mean it's false.
Right.
So I would encourage us all to dig a little deeper.
Right.
Because statistics are what they are. They're facts, but all facts can change when we allow ourselves to see the truth.
Right. And truth don't change. You can stay with that. Ain't that right, Malachi?
All right.
Ain't it, man? Yeah. it's just it's time for us to start walking by faith. And I ain't talking about no. When I say faith, I ain't talking about no from no religious perspective. I'm talking about from the word of the Most High perspective. Walking in obedience, start looking at what He said and do it, regardless if we understand it or not. Just get there and just start walking. Yeah, Abraham went to a place he didn't know where he was going, but he just started walking.
And most of the
Moses
time,
walked. He saw the
ballers.
Most High on the rock. He hit it. So I'm gonna start walking too. Maybe I get to that place eventually, and I think y'all need to come on and start walking with us so we can go get back to where we need to get to.
Even one of y'all greatest black people said Frederick Douglass.
Right.
He said he started praying with his feet.
Yeah. Oh, we get to moving then. We got any announcements?
Yes, we do. We do have announcements. And we will be celebrating Pesach, which is so awesome. I'm really, really looking forward to it. April the 16th.
April 16th.
And yes, if for those who would like to be involved, drop a comment, contact us on a messenger. We have email, we have Facebook, any social media platform out there, you can contact us. And that's a Hav Love Ministry. And after that, we'll be celebrating or observing Unleavened Bread, the Feast of Unleavened Bread, the 17th through the 23rd of April. We're really thankful for the opportunity to be celebrating the Feast of the Most High. Not mine, not yours, not your leaders, not your moray, or however you want to put the title.
And I know
It's
Jewish feast neither.
and of course not that, but it's the Feast of the Most High, y'all. And lastly, again, our sponsors for this episode.
Field Stone
in Richfield Springs, New York. Go visit.
Go visit, y'all. It's good that they got cabins on the top of the hill.
Yeah.
They got townhouses down here. They got the lake across the street. Got the lake on this side.
Right.
They got a game room. So, it's all love and it's all good. They got basketball courts where you can go there and eat it. I'm trying to blow it up. I want y'all to go up there.
They
it's
got
fun.
cottages, townhomes, and again, I could just repeat it because I love it.
And they got a store on the property.
And if you know me personally, check out my background on Facebook. That is a nature shot that I took of the beautiful, pleasant property up there. Visit them.
Yeah.
Call them at 1-888-353-3276. And for more information, visit their website. Yes. Take your family, take a business trip.
What's the website?
All right. And you got that information for me?
It's www.fieldstoneresorts.com.
Right. Right. And also Pest King again. That the best.
Battle thy pets.
Your pets. Go to our website, pest-king.com. You can also visit us on Angie's List, Home Advisor, or even the Madison Chamber of Commerce. Also, I think every social media platform. Call us 256-566-9791 because you know you don't want the mosquitoes biting you on your ankles and your feet this year. So go on, give me a call so I can come take care of you. With that being said, hey, we love everybody. Hey, like, share, subscribe, send to your friends. Hey, put it in somebody's hand and let's love our brother like the Most High tell us to by giving them this information. With that being said, talk to y'all Friday.
Yeah, this is
Shalom.
the real spill. Shalom.
Thanks for having me.
Real spill. Shalom.